Good morning, America. This is Sylvia Randolph coming to you once again with a blog this morning, talking to you about the question, or talking to you about the African American male. A question that was asked to me, or I read about, asking where has the African American male gone in 25 years? And unfortunately, I have to come to America and say this. In 25 years, or even in 50 years, the African American male has gone nowhere, in the same predicament, doing the same things. Our societies are the same. Our communities are the same. We are far, far, far behind where we could be today. Our children, our women, our households, families are in such disarray. Economically, how do I know this? Because financially, economically, poverty is so stricken in our communities that the only thing that we can think about is the idea of what, where, who, when, and why. What is the proof behind any of this? What signifies me saying or speaking about any of this goes into the foster care system. The foster care system that says we have so many African American children sitting in the foster care system, sitting in detention homes, sitting in other systemic places, group homes, where we don't have enough African Americans economically set to go in and actually take hold of these children that are sitting there. Poverty put them in the system. So today, 25 years later, responding to a question that was asked to me on Twitter, 25 years later, the research is the same. The numbers, percentages are the same. The numbers of wealth and disenfranchised is the same. So where are we going? Where do we want to be? And how do we get there? We need to develop, create, implement, institute, get out of the way of the financial docket and get in the way of the human being and livelihood and what it means to live in a good life. Excuse me, but I'm surrounded by a bunch of men, so of course I'm going to be bothered when I don't want to be. The African American male needs to understand that it's not about sex, that it's not about the abuse of a woman, that it's not about control, that is having a stable mentally, emotionally, and physical ability to overcome obstacles in society in order to sustain and maintain a home, a livelihood that will say we have come somewhere in 25 years. But as of now, it's still the same thing. I'm a 40-year-old woman, have gone through a traumatic experience. And when I hear an African American male ask that question of where have we come in 25 years, I must be honest. I must be truthfully honest and say we've come nowhere. Nowhere. Because we failed the ability to control ourselves, we lack self-control, we are driven by the physical, disturbed in our emotional and psychologically bound so in the past of history that we don't know what it means to move forward. Our African American so-called leadership, except for President Obama, I'm talking about that within the communities, are so bound psychologically in the idea and in the premise underlying with the financial dollar rather than how to really structure sound communities. We are so mentally disturbed that we only know what it means to be sexually active rather than spiritually proactive. We are morally bashed and morally shamed that has become the norm of our society and communities to see a young girl walking around, with her ass hanging out, excuse the language, her breasts hanging out and showing, speaking with no dignity whatsoever, with 3 to 4 children on her hip, and the black man standing on the corner watching her go by. And one of them might be the father. Share her off. Give it to my boy. Let them have what they want, because that's the only way we can survive. We've got a problem, because if the only suit and tie you know is the one running the programs but yet look you by when you go past, the only suit and tie you know is the preacher on the pulpit collecting tithes but won't allow you to come in and have a eat, a drink, or anything of that nature, we'll see a young girl and her family homeless before he opens the door to allow you come in and sit down and have a break or a place to lay your head. We've got a problem. The only way we raise our young boys is to fight, to cause ruckus, to be very aggressive. We've got a problem. The only thing we know how to do with our young girls is tell them to use what they got to get what they want. They're physical. We've got a problem. Well, I tell you what, America, as I told you before, the foster care system messed with the wrong mother. And the gentleman who actually asked me where has the man come in 25 years, I have to tell him he's gone nowhere in 50 or 100 years. And so I say to America today, have a wonderful day. Because I'm going to keep trying. And I'm going to keep pushing every agenda that President Obama pushes, because he's a beautiful African American male leader. And I'm going to talk to any of the other ones that are out there so-called calling themselves leaders in our communities, but yet the things that I speak of today are unheard of in their societal norms. So you have a wonderful day, America.